Hello, this is Mrs. Neubauer, and let's work on our penmanship. So, what two letters are bad for your teeth? D, K. All right, so our lesson goal number 15 is to write the letters E, F, G, and H. So we're continuing on our uppercase capital letters. Our next lesson is the next four letters of the alphabet. So if you recall from our last lesson, we're using the top to bottom line. So the E, E looks like a fancy thing, doesn't it? E is going to be a nice curve, kind of come to the middle and a curve, kind of like a backwards 3. F is probably nothing that you've seen before. So our F is, we do kind of like a straight line curve to the side and a little curve back. Then we can either start in the middle and do our loop or the top and do our kind of like curved stem. The G is definitely probably something you haven't seen before. So G's, we start at the bottom, we come up in a nice curve, we come back to the top, come back to the bottom curve and curve back. So this might not be a recognizable G, but that's what we have for a cursive G. And probably the most recognizable letter today is H. So H, we kind of have a curve and come down straight. Then we come down straight and then we continue to curve around to do the crossbar and then come back to start our letter. So remember, cursive is just to continue to write kind of like a piece of yarn, continuous writing, fast continuous writing. Okay, so you haven't already, make sure you warmed up, and you can either do your air warms up or you can do it on your sheet, lesson number 2 or 3 worksheet. Okay, I'm going to switch the camera and we'll get started on our letters. Make sure you have number 15 uppercase letters E, F, G, H. So you can see when we went from prints, we're now going to create cursive. And just like we've been doing, we're going to trace over the letters by staying in lines and then trying some on our own. So our E is probably the easiest letter. Oh, I so didn't mean to do that pun, but that was a good one. If you haven't noticed, I like to have jokes in my day. So E for easy. Okay, so remember that we have two. We're going to have one curve, one C here, and one C at the bottom, and then put them together. So first of all, let's trace over. Okay, now normally we don't lift our pen, but we're just getting used to what the letter is made up of. Good, and then we can try some that I created. So remember to use a pen or pencil, it's up to you. Nice, slow, controlled movement. You're creating lots of muscle memory, and make sure you're holding your pen correctly. Closer to the bottom. You don't have to be all the way at the bottom, but just a little bit room. You're not clenching. You're nice, comfortable ease. So same thing each time. Remember your posture. You're giving me L. Nice straight back. Ears are over the shoulders. Nice. And you're still writing on a flat surface. It's a lot easier to learn cursive when you have all of these things, creating good habits. Okay, last E, you probably have this down, you're ready to go on your own. Okay, so just like I said, it's like two C's put together. Down, up, touch that top line, come to the middle dash line. Now don't lift your pen, you're going to go back where you came from and do the same curve. Bring it up a little bit. There you go. Now when we get to writing words like we did with our lowercase, you would just continue that E to the next letter. Like say we're doing E for 8, you would do your E, and then that would loop into your I. Okay, so you're welcome to continue on if you want to pause the video and finish your E. Otherwise, I'm going to go over how to write an F. So if you put your hand over the first part, it does look like an F, like printing F, but we just make it more cursive, more continuous, I guess. Okay, so we have our first letter stroke. So it starts at the top, right towards you get to the middle, you're going to start curving back to the left. When you get to the middle, you're just going to bring it to the front and stop. That's your first letter stem. Then you either can do 2 or 3, either way. I usually do the top and then I do the middle, but it's up to you, either one. Just add those 2 curves. So the top curve is going to be longer than the middle curve. Okay, so let's practice the 4 together. Straight down. When you get to the middle, start curving to the left. When you start getting to the middle, stop and bring a curve like we've been doing for our letters. The top, you're going to down, curve, touch the top, curve it down, just kind of like a wave, I guess. It's like a wave. And the same thing for the center. Small wave. Now that the middle wave, people would connect to the next letter. So F for fox, you can just go over and start your O. So that's the nice thing about the F. So down, straight, curve it back, nice curve. Bring it back to the right. I'm going to curve at the top and curve in the center. Okay, 2 more left. Hopefully you're doing a good job tracing mine, getting used to what the F now looks like for cursive. So you have to give yourself positive encouragement. Not only are you learning to write cursive, which is very hard, ask anybody you know, they can tell you their stories from youth. You're also looking how letters are formed. So you're not used to seeing an F like this. You're like, wow, I'm only writing an F, but I've never seen this F. Because most of the books you read are not in cursive. That's for sure. Okay, so F. So you're going to give yourself some space. Let's try one on our own. So you start at the top. You're going to go straight. Kind of when you get to the middle of the second part, curve back. And when you get to the middle, you're going to stop and bring it forward. And the top underneath, you're going to do a curve up, just like a nice letter wave. And in the middle, a smaller wave. Okay, and as you can see, every letter is going to be different. We are not computer printers, we are hand writers. So each F will look a little bit different, and that's okay. Okay, so you can continue your F's on. I know that one's going to be a challenging letter for today. Pause the video, and we're going to keep going to G. Okay, so I think G is the most advanced letter of the day. So if we get G done, we're good. Oh gosh, I did another pun. G for good. Oh, I didn't even mean that. I'm not kidding you. I'm just coming up with these all on my own. Okay. So G, you can see the whole letter together. We have one letter stroke curving up and then another one coming back down. So we'll do them separately to see what they look like. Slow and controlled. It's going to go to the top, curve, come to the middle, bring it back up to the middle of the top space. And then this is kind of like what we did for our letter F. You're going to come down straight, curve, come back up, and then just do that exit. Now, some people take that exit and they go to the next letter. So it'll come right across and go into an O. Some people stop and then they start their letter. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just learn the G first. Okay. So G, you come up, curve, good. Got that first one down, and then it's just like the letter F. It's just a little bit wider than the F. Okay, 3 more to practice. How's it going? Oh, there's another G. G for good, G for going. You're doing great. Yes, okay, 2 more. Creating that nice finger muscles, hand muscles, muscle memory. your hand and your eye are connecting. So if I asked you to write an uppercase G without you being able to look, hopefully in the next day or two after your practice, you'll be able to do it. Okay, let's try a G on your own. You ready? Okay, starting at the bottom, kind of a little curve at the bottom and come up. Nice curve, touch the top, curve it back. All right, we're gonna go to the middle and stop, and then we're gonna go straight down, touch the bottom, curve, come back, and the exit stroke. That's a lot. Okay, so continue your G's on. You want to pause the video? Otherwise, let's do our last letter for the day, H. H for honey. Okay, H. Okay, you can see we have 3 things we're going to do and add them all together. So the first one is the easiest part. Just do a little curve up, kind of like a candy cane, and then straight down to that bottom line. This is the easiest one. Straight vertical line down to the bottom, nice and straight. The last one's kind of fun. You kind of like curve back to that dashed line, come around and bring it out to exit. So when we add on to our words, you would just continue on to your next lowercase word. Okay, so let's start our H's. H. All right, I'm going to trace over nice and slow, staying in the lines the best I can. All right, straight down without lifting my pen or pencil. Curve it back. You kind of touch the dash line, touch that first line, and then bring it to the exit off to the side. H. What a fancy H. Okay, down, straight, candy cane. Vertical, come down and touch. Don't lift your pen, curve back. Okay. And as you can see, each time that curve back's a little bit bigger or smaller, and that's okay. That's called handwriting. They don't have to be perfect. Your handwriting will have its own style. I'm just teaching you the basic cursive style, and then you can add to it. All right, last one, we'll try it together. And a little faster, a little bit more confidence. Okay, so we'll give ourselves some space. Start kind of a little bit lower, not quite to the halfway point. Curve it up, straight down. Good. Now you're going to give yourself about three dash space. So you're going to do your vertical line down. Don't lift your pen. You're going to curve back. Once you hit the dash line, curve, hit that first line, and then bring it off to the right. Okay, so continue your H's if you would prefer. Pause the video. Otherwise, I can just tell you the last part. So just like we've been doing, you're going to practice 3, practice 3, practice 3. We got some G's, the hardest one, and our H's, 3 and 3. Then you're going to try one of each. So E, F, G, H, E, F, G, H. So lots of practice for today. You have plenty to do. Once again, if there's a letter that is really challenging, just print off another worksheet and continue to practice. Continue to trace until you get that nice muscle memory down and you feel more confident. Okay, I feel like we definitely have about 80% of our goal finished for number 15. We're definitely on our way to writing the letter E, F, G, and H. Remember, you have to not only recognize it, you have to be able to write it. So you're doing a lot of challenging work with this cursive class. So just keep continuing to remember that and keep continuing to practice. And remember, progress over perfection.